Hey guys, so I know it's been a while now since I've uploaded a video on here, and since I'm in quarantine and I have nothing really much to do, I thought it would be a good idea to upload something I've been doing during quarantine, which is a lot of baking. I've been making a lot of cookies, and so I made a little video tutorial on how to make the best walnut chocolate chip cookies. I'm super excited to share this recipe with you guys. It's from a recipe I found online, but I tweaked it a little bit and then I added my own touches, which is I added a little bit of walnuts and chocolate, salted chocolate. It's a sea salt chocolate bar. That's what it is. Oh my gosh, I'm like, my brain isn't working right now. Quarantine has definitely messed with it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy and watch the video, and let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments down below. I'm happy to help you guys make this amazing cookie recipe. Alrighty, so this is what you'll need to make the cookies: baking soda, espresso powder or instant coffee, 2 eggs, walnuts, butter, flour, chocolate, salt, vanilla, and brown sugar. I also forgot to include granulated sugar. Alrighty, so the first thing you're going to need is a medium saucepan and put it on medium heat. So to the saucepan, you're going to add your 2 sticks or 1 cup of butter. So you're going to let the butter melt completely, and the key to making brown butter is stirring constantly and making sure the butter doesn't burn. So the butter is going to go through 3 different stages. The initial stage, it'll foam up, and then it'll clear up just like it does in this clip. And lastly, it'll start foaming again, and this is where you have to be really careful that you don't burn your butter. You want it a nice amber color. You don't want it to burn. So as you see here, it's reached an amber color. Now we set it aside and let it cool. While the butter is cooling, you want to get some of your dry ingredients together. So you first add 1.5 cups dark brown sugar. To that, you're going to add 3/4 cups of granulated sugar. And yes, I forgot to have the sugar in the original lineup. That was my bad, but you will need granulated sugar. To that, you're going to add 2 teaspoons espresso powder, followed by 2 teaspoons kosher salt, finally you will need 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. Once you have all those ingredients, you want to mix thoroughly. You're going to then add the brown butter to the mixture, and you have to make sure the brown butter is completely cooled, or else your eggs will cook when you add them. You're then going to mix it all up, make sure it's well combined. Once the butter is well combined, you're going to want to add 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. And you're going to add your 2 eggs as well. I will recommend to have your eggs room temperature, just so the mixture doesn't separate. Once your 2 eggs are in, you're going to want to mix completely, and you want to make sure there's no whites lingering around. You want to make sure the combination is fully emulsified. And you should end up with a mixture looking just like this. To that mixture, you're going to add your 2.5 cups of flour. I like doing about 1.5 cups and then mixing just because it's easier. We don't want to overbeat our batter, so I'm just going to mix until almost all the flour is completely mixed in, but I want to make sure I'm not overbeating it. Once that flour is almost completely mixed in, I add the remaining 1 cup. And again, I want to emphasize not to overbeat your batter. You just want to fold in your flour to a point where there aren't any visible flour streaks. So I'm just finishing up here. As you can see, there are almost no flour streaks, but we want to make sure it's completely homogeneous like this. Alrighty, now for mix-ins, I used a sea salt dark chocolate. Make sure you want to chop that up. I like to leave it pretty chunky just because I like chocolate chunk cookies, but that's totally optional and it's up to you if you want smaller pieces or larger pieces. That's a personal preference. Alrighty, now that you have your chocolate chopped up, you just want to set that aside while you chop your walnuts. So for the mix-ins, I don't have exact measurements. As you can see, I added 2 handfuls of chopped walnuts and 2 bars of dark chocolate. I think it's personal and you can add as much or as little as you'd like. Once those are chopped up, you're going to want to add them to your dough. And now you mix everything together. Again, I'm going to stress this one more time. Do not overmix. At this point, it becomes a little bit hard to stir everything in because the dough is pretty firm, but just make sure you're not overworking the batter. And finally, this is what your finished dough will look like. Now I'm just going to add some non-stick spray to my baking sheet. And now I'm shaping my dough into spheres. You can make them as big or as small as you want, but the cooking time will vary. And into the preheated oven they go. Make sure to preheat at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. After about 25 minutes, the cookies are ready to be taken out. And you're ready to eat these delicious, chocolatey, nutty, brown butter, chocolate chunk, walnut cookies. So that wraps up my first official baking video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these videos, guys. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And it's not a promise, but I'm going to keep trying to make these videos and be more consistent about it. So let me know if you have any recommendations of recipes you'd like me to try out or random things to do. I'm up for it. Thank you again.